Don't worry, this isn't sweat, this is water. I ran my head under the shower. So if you're repulsed, let that alleviate any concerns you have. So great news. Sun Heung-min has actually avoided military service by winning the 2018 Asian Games with South Korea. Remember back in the World Cup where after South Korea's loss to Mexico, which was their second loss of the World Cup, they were pretty much standing on the brink of elimination, and Sun Heung-min was in tears in the South Korean locker room with the president having to console him. Well, he was sad in large part because South Korea were all but out of the tournament, but also because he was facing a very likely recruitment to the military, which in South Korea is mandatory for most young men for up to 2 years. And he really was running out of time. And South Korea was running out of options to give him an opportunity to, I guess, win something with South Korea for him to avoid military service. And if he had not avoided it, he would have had to leave Tottenham, go into the military for 2 years, and then once he gets out of the military for 2 years, has to basically start all over again because he has to find a club that would sign him. You think 2 years of not playing, it makes you rusted. You have to find your groove again. And the whole media consensus leading up to this whole point was that if he would get drafted and if he had to serve, it's probably the end of his footballing career. Like, no joke. Or if it would not be the end of his career, it would be really hard integrating and getting back to a big club. Because, like I say, you don't play at all for 2 years. You're in the military. You know, no matter how great you are, you're not going to be at your best. And we know how much he's on fire he is and how crucial he is for Tottenham Hotspur, his club team. On top of that, in my opinion, being the best individual footballer in the world from Asia. So this really meant so much to him. And I look at the highlights of this game and the final whistle. When the final whistle was blown, the whole South Korean team were celebrating like crazy. Sun Heung-min was crying. It was very emotional because a lot of younger guys in the squad too as well avoided having to go to the military because of this victory. For those you don't know, South Korea won the final today in the Asian Games, not to be confused with the Asian Cup, which is the biggest title in Asia, and that takes place in January of next year. But the Asian Games, they beat Japan in the final in extra time, 2-1, where all 3 goals came in extra time. South Korea scored twice. Japan pulled one back, but it wasn't enough. And yeah, South Korea. I didn't know very much about this tournament. I didn't know very much about it, but apparently, I was looking at the results of the Asian Games this year. It started earlier this month. Indonesia was the host. And there were a lot of, I guess, surprise results, such as Vietnam getting to the semifinals, Malaysia beating Japan in the group stage. So then I did some further investigating, and then I realized that for the most part, the Asian Games are a youth tournament. They're usually, most of the players on there are under 23 national teams. Not under 20, under 23. And each national side is allowed a few overage players to participate in each squad. And I'm guessing Sun Heung-min was one of them that was invited to the South Korean. Think of it similar vein as the Olympics, I guess. But that explains why there were so many weird results, such as Vietnam and Malaysia. But yeah, South Korea win the Asian Games. They actually successfully defended the title because they won the Asian Games in 2014. This is held just after the World Cup every 4 years in August. And so we'll have to see if South Korea, maybe they can carry that form into the Asian Cup, because they won the Asian Games in 2014, and then they got to the Asian Cup final in 2015, early 2015, and they lost to host nation Australia. That's more senior men's national squad, but so that's great for South Korea. Congratulations to all the guys who avoided having to basically have their careers abruptly cut short, especially Sung Heung-min. You saw how much it meant to him, how emotional, how ecstatic, and how crying he was at the end of this match. And I'm happy for him because he says he loves playing for Tottenham. He loves his new life in England. He didn't want to leave that behind. So it's a good day for him and the rest of the South Korean team that joined him in that cause. So congratulations to him. And he gets to avoid it. He was really worried about that in the World Cup, and we kind of felt bad for him. But, congrats, and congrats to South Korea. So leave a comment below, like, subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Until then, have a good one. Much love and peace out.